Allô, Nissan? Hey, grosse tempête, hein?
Hey, Karine, oui, je sais, les vilains bonhommes de neige sont de retour.
Mais avec le Nissan Rogue à traction intégrale, c'est pas stressant.
Exact, il est conçu et testé pour nos hivers. Oh, Karine, il y a un bonhomme dans le Rogue.
Ah, c'est correct. J'ai allumé les sièges chauffants.
Ah, bien joué, Karine. Maîtrisez toutes les conditions. Louez le Rogue S 2026 à partir de 0,4 jusqu'à 36 mois, incluant une réduction fidélité de 0,5 pour les clients Nissan admissibles. Jusqu'au 2 mars, sur approbation de crédit, les conditions s'appliquent. Détails chez Nissan.
After months of headhunting for the right person, Fady Dagher has been named as Montreal's next police chief. With a 25-year history with the SPVM before becoming the chief of police in Longueuil in 2017, Dagher says he wants police in the city to operate with humility and for them to become better informed on issues like marginalized communities and immigration. The city's executive committee will have until December 22nd to vote on the selection before it becomes ratified by the Quebec government. And Fady Dagher joins us now on the program. Monsieur Dagher, thank you so much for returning to the show, this time with some very big news.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations, first of all. It's not lost on me that at times, I mean, you're quoted as saying that you didn't want this job, like you weren't considering this job, that you were not going to actively seek out this job. So what happened? How did you end up as being named Montreal's next police chief?
Like I mentioned before, I didn't apply. I didn't put my candidature to become the chief. But Mr. Martin Prudhomme, the director adjoint in the city of Montreal, who is responsible for the public safety, approached me and invited me. I think also he invited other candidates for us to be able to show our vision. For that, I accept. But very quickly after that, the offer came right away. Because we had some, I don't know if you remember, the Montreal city went on consultation in the community, and the result, the criteria that they were looking for the next profile of the chief of Montreal, apparently they were similar to who I am. So this is how we conclude to an agreement.
Was it difficult for you to say goodbye to your role in Longueuil as the police chief there, knowing that maybe you haven't accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish?
It's still difficult. This week and the next weeks, I'm going to be going through a lot of emotions because it's very hard to leave them. But in the meantime, I did my deep reflection on myself and say, okay, what more can I bring to Longueuil? We did so much together. We brought the project. Some of the projects we've been celebrating the last 3 years. We are celebrating 3 years of the immersion program. Réseau has been 1 year, and they're all working well. It doesn't mean we shouldn't work. We should go deeper and continue to progress. But my profile, the kind of person I am, it's more the kind of person that brings the project, put them on the field, test them. And then after that, we need another profile that's going to be able to keep them going on and keep bringing some robustness in the project. But I think deeply inside that I did everything I could do for Longueuil. It doesn't mean I couldn't stay more years, but at one point you have to make sure that are you the right person to continue, or should be another profile person who should continue the project.
You know the SPVM very well. You know, you have a career working in Montreal's police before you're the chief at Longueuil. So how are you going to tackle maybe changing some of the internal culture at the Montreal police? Like what's the best way to go about changing culture, changing mindset, so you can bring in some of those ideas you used in Longueuil?
First of all, it's been 7 years that I left Montreal, so I have to go on the field to meet the people, listen to them, try to understand what's the temperature, what's the feeling on the field. Because from what I'm hearing, it's very complex in Montreal. It's getting more and more difficult to intervene. They are intervening a lot on mental health and on those crises. It's less criminal crisis. It's more mental health crisis. So I have to go, first of all, listen to what's going on inside the organization, and also I have to go meet the community, sit with them and see exactly what they need. You know, as a police chief, there is two roles that I'm having. First is the chief of police for the troops inside, and then director of the citizen of Montreal, so taking care of my people from the citizen. But I have to find the right balance to have to engage the both sides in the community to get closer and closer. If we stay apart and we still saying us and them, we gonna in the next 10 years you're gonna call me back to do an interview. We're gonna be at the same place. So we have to find a way to get closer and closer. And I have few strategies in my head, but I want to listen to my people to see what they think about it, and especially I know that they in SPVM they've been doing a lot of good things for many years. So let's see what is working well and what is working less.
We are with Fady Dagher. He will be Montreal's next police chief. I want to touch upon something you just said, us versus them, right? So, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's about 85% in that ballpark of Montreal police officers don't live in Montreal, right? They live off island.
Right.
So,
right.
How do you get it so it's us all together when so many of Montreal police officers don't live in the places they need to police?
Well, if you have only think about it, okay? Maybe 80% of the police work is on 911 call. So you call the 911 emergency, police officer comes to your house and try to resolve the crisis. It's like it's like the health system. If we have only the emergency department, there's going to be a crisis. But in the health system, you have family doctors, you have special doctors, then you have the emergency. But in the police, you have only the emergency. So we have to find a way to create an approach with the police, a closer police officer that works in the community without the 911 call. They live in the community, they stay in the community, and they try to build the relationship and the trust between them and the community. If we are able to have police officers close to the community without the 911 call and build the trust to be able to bring down those 911 calls proactively, well, I think this is one of the key to be able to get closer and closer to the community and understand what's going on inside the community. But if we continue to put all our our personnel on the 911 call and just answering, we are reacting all the time. And in 2022, we should be a police department proactive, open to the community, and inclusive to the community.
And I'd imagine you also want a police force and officers who want to be part of the SPVM. I know there's been a pretty interesting number of police officers who are leaving the Montreal Police Force. How do you convince officers to stay at the SPVM?
Well, I think one of the most important things that we should do, all of us, not only SPVM, in Longueuil, and everywhere else in the province of Quebec, is to be honest with our police officer from the CEGEP. When they're registered to become a police officer at 17, 18 years old, we should ask them the question, are you sure you want to become a police officer? Do you know what you're getting into? Because if we tell them that they're going to be intervening on criminal action or criminal calls, I think we should be honest and tell them, no, 70 to 80% of the calls, they're going to be mental health calls. Mm-hmm. Is that what you want to do? So start from the CEGEP, then to Nicolette, and then to go to the police department. So that's one thing. Then bring back the pride. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, you are working the big cities. There's a lot of action, and you've been helping people to avoid to go in the drugs. You're preventing them from getting closer and closer to the to the drug department. Anything to do with the gangs, with the guns and all that. So I think I don't have the keys. I don't know everything. I think I have a lot to learn and to listen to the people. Maybe other people, and for sure other people have better ideas than me. So I'm going to go consulting from the inside and from the outside.
You've said that you have practiced racial profiling on the job. You've been a victim of racial profiling. This morning, the Quebec government is announcing that they're going to appeal that ruling that stopped random police checks because of racial profiling. Let's talk about that subject here. Random stops versus racial profiling. What do you think the right balance is on policing in that?
That's a great question. I went to the court to testify before the judge gave his answer for the Article 636, and I mentioned to the judge that the police needs that article, need that tools to be able to intercept police citizen car who's driving a car, and because we want to be able to prevent any consumption of drugs or alcohol. Okay, so I try to explain to him that we should find ways of training our police officers to combat unconscious bias that leads to the racial profiling, social profiling. Well, he decided otherwise, and you know what? I understand him because there were so many victims, and I have to respect all those victims because I was a victim of racial profiling also. So if now the government is going on appeal, I think it's going on appeal because we want to keep the tool. But if, let's say, we keep the tool, one thing that will be extremely, extremely important is the police officer have to be encadré. We have to find a way that if we use that tool, we should use it only and only in the certain circumstances. And the problem is some of the police officers in Quebec, they use it in the oblique way to get to their way to get some information. And we got racial profiling cases. It's a very delicate subject. I think police officers, we still need that article, but I hope that we're going to be better trained to use it only in certain circumstances. If not, there's going to be some more occasions of racial profiling.
Last quick question for you, and this is one I think a lot of our listeners care about. What's your position on body cams? Should the SPVM, should officers have a body cam?
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree that we should have a body cam for the citizen and for the police officer. But please, don't bring the body cam and think it's going to be a miracle tool. I've been studying all over the countries and all over other countries. The body cam is a good tool, but it's not the only tool. We have to train our police officers in a better way to get closer to the community, understand the community, and be open to the community. Because if you put a body cam and you think there's going to be resolved the problem of racial profiling, you're dreaming. It's one tool, and it's an important one, and we should have it for both sides. But we definitely, in the meantime, train our police officers to be extremely open to the diversity and understand what it is about.
Chief Dagher, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning. And as you look to get closer to the community, I'm sure we'll get to talk as you can get closer to our listeners as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.